We're excited to invite you to tune in to the local Ocala Marion County Connections special Horse Talk Show broadcast coming up on Facebook at The Horse Talk Show and also on the Equus Television Network several times a day. We'll be bringing you all the excitement of the Derby and the way so many of the horses in the starting gate of both the Oaks and the Derby have so many connections right here to our local farms. Don't miss this special additional broadcast. Thank you to our sponsors for making this additional Horse Talk Show broadcast possible. Presenting sponsors, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care and Larson Farms. And our supporting sponsors, Piranha Animal Health, Seminole Feed Stores, the CEP's Equine Initiative, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show in the Equus Television Network with Niall Brennan from Niall Brennan Stables, somebody that we visit with pretty much every Derby and Breeders' Cup. Not to say the other races aren't important. He has successful horses in all the stakes races all the time because success is no accident. That's the motto, right?
That's the motto. That's the motto. That's been the motto from the start. Still true today. That's just my motto, my theory that I think it's... hard work usually pays off, and you need a little luck here and there in the horse business, obviously. But we've been blessed.
The Irish, perhaps.
That helps, definitely. We've been blessed to have that show over the years, for sure.
As I look down your stables here at Ocala Breeders' Sales for the 2-year-old sale here, I see names and lists of names that Niall Brennan Stables has been attached to for many years. As recent as the Breeders' Cup, Cy-Fair, who I got to visit with and get some photos of this past year. Gunrunner, Nyquist, so many great horses through the years that I've had to run you down for an interview and hope you don't run and hide. I know you're a busy man, so thank you for talking to us, but you literally got a history of some of the greatest horses that have run.
Yeah, as I said, we've been very blessed. We've really had a lot of very good horses, very good clients over the years. And it's very rewarding, obviously, to be around them because it's like any sport. The elite athletes are fun to be around, and you learn from them. You learn watching them, and some are just are supremely talented, physically and mentally, and that's why they're the best. It's the same in any sport, and so we've been fortunate to have a lot of good ones. And I think you like to think that you've learned from them how to develop them, how to develop their talent and their minds, and just hand them off, and that they get the best start they can.
So for those that don't know, the part that Niall Brennan Stables and so many of our top trainers here in the Ocala Marion County area give them kind of what we call their kindergarten training, which is so important because it's the foundation of the horse when they get their first interaction really with people who want to saddle them and ride them. So that start is so important, and the very first time they're saddled and ridden matters, and then getting them out on the track and getting them trained and conditioned and ready to go on and have a successful career. And that's the part that you guys play, and it's such an important key piece to them moving on to success later, whether they end up being successful at the track or go on to another career.
Well, very much so. Just like us. I mean, just like kids going to school, starting out at kindergarten, first grade. I think how they're all different. All little kids are different. As teachers, good teachers obviously understand that, and the kids that are shy versus the kids that are very forward, kid that wants to sit in the back of the class and get in trouble all the time. So horses are just the same, and obviously you're trying to identify that in the early stages and give them what they need. Some come to the fore very quickly, and some just need a little more time, and some just need confidence. They've got talent, but they need confidence, and that's part of the whole process in the early going. Yeah.
And as you're watching them come in as yearlings, you're seeing all those different personality traits and quirks, and you're working with them according to what you see.
Absolutely, yeah. I think as I said, they're just like kids. I think they're all different, and they have different personalities. And as we get going in the program, usually in the fall into winter, they start, they're training, so they're starting to develop, and some develop quicker than others. Physically and mentally, and so you start identifying that, and by the time we get to the spring, they're doing a lot more work and they develop quickly, so they're doing a lot more serious work at this time of year, and then that's when you really start identifying the ones with talent.
And speaking of ones with talent, looking towards the Kentucky Derby in Oaks right now, we're seeing lots of Ocala Marion County connections as always. Let's talk about yours.
Well, I think right now there's there's 3 horses on the Derby trail that we have been through the program, which is great. We're very fortunate to be involved in it. Emerging Market obviously is 2 for 2, trained by Chad Brown and owned by Clarovich Stable. Very, very nice Candy Ride colt that we've had, and he's been very impressive in his 2 starts, very impressive. And he's had to fight hard for a young, unseasoned horse, and that may be just that would be the criticism that some people would have. It's not his talent; it's his lack of seasoning going into a race like the Derby, and I don't doubt his talent at all. But the Derby is a rough run race. Usually, it's a full field of 20 horses. It's just the nature of the race. It's a mile and a quarter. There's a lot of hype and build up and huge crowds. The horses are young; they get worked up. The jockeys are excited, even though they're experienced. And there's usually a mad rush out of the starting gate to get position. So there's a lot of jostling and hustling, and horses get bumped around a lot. So you got to be able to handle that. And the more fights you've been in, the better you handle that. So hopefully he would need a good trip, because he has the talent to win. But he has to get a good trip, because he wouldn't have the seasoning to get bounced around a whole lot. And they would tend to spit the bit and call it a day if that happens to some horses, because they're still young. The other horse is a horse called Patente by Into Mischief, one of the leading sires obviously in the country. It's trained by Bob Baffert in California. And again, he's at the same disadvantage in that he got a late start. He won his first race, and then he won the San Vicente, and then he was second a couple of weeks ago in the Santa Anita Derby. Same thing, he's got a lot of talent, trained by obviously great trainer in Bob Baffert, and won many derbies. But again, he's a little unseasoned. He's a colt with a lot of talent. So you like to develop these horses. It's a long year, but obviously, as an owner, you want to run in the Derby if you can, and your horse gets in. It's a big dream. Mm-hmm. So these 2 colts are young, they're talented, and I think they've got as big a chance as anybody. Their Achilles heel, if you like, might be the fact that they've less seasoning than a lot of the other horses. Right. And the third horse is a horse that we actually own part of. We bred him, and we stayed in when we sold. A horse called Bravaro, and he's a New York bred by Upstart, another very, very good stallion, and he's a beautiful horse. He is an eye-catching specimen. He just takes your eye away. He's run very well. He won his first 2 races as a 2-year-old, which is a help to have that foundation, and he's run twice now, or 3 times as a 3-year-old. He was second in the Holy Bull, and then 4th with a very rough trip in the Fountain of Youth. And then he went to New York a couple of weeks ago for the Wood Memorial. Again, he got a rough trip, but he finished 4th, but only beaten 2 lengths. So he ran very well. I think at this point, he's just on the cusp, or also eligible to get in. But talking to the ownership group, I think we all feel that it might not be the right move to run him in the Derby at this point, because we don't know that he wants to run a mile and a quarter right now. I think, and you've got to be careful with these young horses, because he has talent. And the fact he's New York bred makes him eligible for a lot of restricted races. The one thing you don't want to do is mismanage and run a horse. Maybe running him in the Derby would be the wrong move. If you got a rough race, it can set you back for the summer. Right. Because these are young horses that are still learning and developing confidence. And I don't want to take that away from him. He's a very talented horse. He still ran a hard race just a couple of weeks ago. So, at this point, obviously the trainer has a lot of input, Safi Joseph, and he's done a great job with him, and he really likes the horse. He's high on him. But we're talking about the future here, and I think sometimes you have to look at the big picture and make the right decision. Maybe running the Derby is not the right decision for him.
Maybe he's got a greater future in his career if he doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah. I think you got to he could freshen him right now, and then look for races in June at the Belmont weekend, something, and then in July and August at Saratoga. He's in York bred. Yeah. So I think that's a conversation obviously between the partnership, but I think the general consensus right now is that maybe it would be the right thing to freshen him and point to the summer.
Yeah, that makes total sense. But an exciting Derby for you anyway, with at least a good couple of horses there near the top that are looking very exciting for the first Saturday in May.
It's very exciting. You're obviously delighted for our clients and the staff of the farm. Everybody takes a lot of pride in that. Everybody, they'll have a big Derby pool, and And the guys that have been around them, the guys at the farm that rode those horses, or the grooms, they all take pride in that they were involved and they had those horses. So it's fun.
It's exciting.
Fun. Yeah, great experience.
On another note, I just wanted to say that, one of the things I always comment on is the teddy bears and the balls and the stall doors, and how your horses are taken care of and looked after and entertained. I love that. I think that's such a nice touch for them, to give them something to do. I love it.
Yeah, I think that we found out years ago that sometimes the fillies, the girls, really like teddy bears, and maybe the field is soft. Some of them don't care, but some of them really like it. And the boys get the jolly balls because they're a little tougher. They might tear up the teddies and spin them back at you.
That's right.
But it's when they're over here, we're here for almost 3 weeks between shipping in, training over the track, before the breeze show, and then another week to the sale. So they're here, and that's, they're not at home getting turned out in the paddocks for a little while. So it gets a bit boring for them.
Yeah.
And so, we obviously they get to look out, and sometimes they play with their teddy bear or their jolly ball, and just gives them something to do.
I think it's so great. And you and Stephanie, your wife, do so many amazing things with the final furlong, the retirement for racehorses, and then the prison, different programs that you guys work with, helping those. I just love to share all that with our viewers, because sometimes they don't hear the other side of racehorse training that I think is so important, which is caring about the future of the horses that don't make the big stakes races or don't make a racing career successful, and also just helping make sure that people come out of our prison system here have an opportunity to get into horse jobs and get that training while they're there at TRF. And I love that you guys are so involved in so many wonderful programs, keeping the other important elements, definitely in sight, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I think so. We've been involved with that for a long time. I mean, we've been in the horse business for so long, but it's, we've grown up around this, and it's our lifestyle. It's not just a job for us. We're lucky enough to be around animals and outside every day, and you can't beat it. It's a great way to live. And the horses have been so good to us that, many of them aren't good enough to be at the big leagues, or they have injuries that preclude them from being good. But, it's a big thing right now, and it's aftercare and retirement for horses. It's big, and my wife's been involved in that for a long time. And we do have our own charity set up for a program for the horses that we're involved with, or our clients, that we can manage. We can't obviously do everything, but we take them back and try to rehome them for another career. If they can't do that, then they're just retired and they live out in the fields for the rest of their life. We've got a lot of them in their 30s right now that I think are getting healthier by the day and not older. I'm getting older, they're getting younger. I don't know how many more rooms, much more room we're going to have. But she's involved with TRF, Thorough Retirement Foundation, and also the program here at Ocala at the Lowell prison, the women's prison, is great, because they take care of all those retired horses. They run it, they do all of the work, they learn how to handle them. Many of the women coming through that program have actually testified to the fact it saved their life. It's changed their lives. And just people that maybe made a mistake at some point in their life, serve their time, and they just want a second chance. And this is what it's a second chance program. And working with the horses gives them that, and then, then the connection between when those women are released from prison, to be able to connect with the community and have jobs here in Ocala on the horse farms. Many of them want that, and of course there's always a need for help. So it's a great connection right now that they've been able to do that, and there's a support system here for them. So it's getting a lot of traction right now, and my wife Stephanie is very involved with it, which is very proud of the girls. Two of the ladies that are working for us in our program right now and are doing great jobs. And so it's
I just
something
met
well
one
worth.
of those last week. Lovely lady she is. Met her at the events on Friday that I was at for the chamber.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have them on the show. Actually, I'm excited to
Lauren,
share their stories.
Yeah, they're very good, and they've all some of them now have Lauren has her own business set up and doing all the videoing of horses for the sales and for the sale company and consigners, and she's grown. She was a very good rider, but she has progressed on to having her own business now.
Amazing.
All in the horse business, and all because of the horses.
I love it.
So we owe them a lot, really. That's why we need to be very involved with their aftercare.
Absolutely. Niall, thank you so much for taking the time on such a busy day for you, and the third day of the sale. You're probably ready to be packed up and on your way home, but I hope you have a great rest of the sale, and success is definitely no accident. Thank you for everything that you and Stephanie do even after the racing, you know, for the people and for the horses. I think it's so important. Yeah. We wish you the best in the Derby. Always love to see one of yours in the winner's circle. So
thanks, Louisa.
Yeah. Thank you, Niall. Niall Brennan from Niall Brennan Stables. Him and Stephanie do a lot in the world of horse racing, even beyond the track. We're so appreciative of that. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network.
Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson & Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. Looking for hay that's a cut above the rest? From field to feeder, Larson Hay delivers top quality, nutrient-packed hay your horses and livestock will love. And with the Larson family leading the way, you know every bale is made with integrity and care. Larson Hay weighs every bale so you can be confident that you're getting what you're paying for. No gimmicks and no small print, just the best hay you could ever feed your horses. Don't settle for just any bale, choose the cream of the crop since 1883. Visit larsonhay.com today, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Love presents itself in so many ways. It can be difficult to describe the bond between human and horse because it really transcends words. As we prepare for each ride, the most important thing in our mind is our horse's health and safety. Are we playing our part in this remarkable relationship? We want to go to sleep every night knowing that we did everything in our power to preserve this special bond. Piranha Animal Health, for the love of the horse.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network, here with Becky Thomas at Sequel Bloodstock, and we're looking forward to a very exciting Kentucky Derby in Oaks coming up in just a couple of weeks, and we like to celebrate the Ocala Marion County connections to these top horses in the country and the world, so it's nice to chat to you.
Thank you, Louise.
Tell us a little bit, we're here at Ocala Breeder Sales. It's always exciting to be at these 2-year-old sales and see the breeze show go on and then the sale begin and the bidding, and it's just exciting to see these horses go on to their future careers, and you've had lots and lots of success in this business.
So I think we're talking about Right to Party.
We are.
Right to Party is owned by the most special long-term client who is 90 years old, and he is a breed to race. Sometimes we sell, but it depends upon what he is racing. And he decided in 2024, I guess, that he, in August, decided that he wanted to go to the Kentucky Derby again. And I said, you don't have anything that I have all his babies from the time they're weaned. I said, you don't have anything that is eligible to go to the Derby. And he said, well, we need to go buy something. Well, as you know, that's easier said than done. And I was like, you need to partner with these guys. I said that you need to buy 20, 25 head of horses and you can be a part. No, he just wanted to buy a Kentucky Derby winner. So he met me in Kentucky when his instructions were to buy a Kentucky Derby winner, and we bought 4 horses, and he's going to the Derby. And it is the craziest thing. I said to him, so Mr. Broman, you understand this is highly unlikely, highly. And the fact that it worked out, I said, you know how lucky? And he goes, well, that was the plan. I was like, okay. But anyway, super exciting.
That is. Tell us a little bit about Right to Party.
He has a very interesting story in that he is, his family is a family that I had owned in New York. His granddam is a mare named Chimichurri that had been an old Stone Street mare that John Monahan had picked out, and I had owned her in her later years and bred her. And Having a Party is by MC that we were standing for Darley, at our farm in New York, and we owned Jimmy Church, but we sold her in full to having a party. So I knew the family really well. Constitution, I was one of the original shareholders of Constitution, with Twin Creeks Racing being obviously the owners and racers, but I felt like there was, you know, a lot of distance and quality in the family, and I liked the horse, and we bought him.
It's so exciting. So as you've been watching us kind of on the prep to the Derby and the horses gathering points, it has to have got really exciting just recently, now that we're getting so close, right?
So we were all watching that race because he ran in the Gotham, and we were like, okay, we've got 15 points, and the horse was sent to Kenny McPeak via Jimmy Jerkins, and Jimmy Jerkins had trained for Mr. Broman a very long time ago, and of course is now the assistant for Kenny, and Kenny and Jimmy are just wonderful. They're just wonderful trainers. They're just, you know, like, it's been really special because Mr. Broman has had such a long relationship with Jimmy Jerkins, and he was the New York assistant, and now he's transferred into Kenny's care, and Kenny obviously is a Kentucky Derby winning trainer. So when we were watching the Wood, and it was like, I cannot believe, because this horse was dusted, you know, left, and it was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that he's going to get up. And it was like we were all screaming and yelling, and he got up, and after the race the next day, Jimmy said he came out in good shape, talked to Kenny, and I said to Mr. Broman, so are you sure that you want to go to the Derby? And he goes, yeah, why not? Pack your suitcase. And so that is, you know, it's super special because I've trained for him for so long.
I love that he's 90 years old
90.
and he's got a Derby horse.
90.
I just think that is the coolest thing.
And that was his plan.
That was
his
his plan. That was his plan. And I do love Kenny McPeak. He's one of my absolute favorites. I think he is a phenomenal trainer. I love his whole team. They do such an amazing job. I also happen to love his dog too, but you know. And he's always got his dog with him at the barn, and I love it. But they do such a phenomenal job. Their whole team do. So the horse is in great hands. So
so
it's
a great story.
It is. And Becky, I know you've had some amazing connections in Derbies, Oaks, Breeders' Cups, and all the stakes races. You have an incredibly successful history yourself.
Well, we were lucky enough to have had Mage. We pinhooked Mage. So this is our second horse that we would have picked out to go to the Derby in 3 years. So we're super excited.
That is incredible. And I know I followed Mage and tracked him to you because I always track our local connections, and I was like, that's cool. So we actually did a shout out for you then.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Becky, thanks so much for chatting to us. Any last few things you want to say?
No.
Just, hey, go Derby, right?
Yeah, go Derby, that's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right,
Here with Becky
bye.
Thomas from Sequel Bloodstock, Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show, the Equus Television Network, and the Chamber's Equine Initiative, talking to Hall of Famer Mark Cassie at his gorgeous Ocala facility with the horses in training here with us today. Mark, thanks for taking the time to chat.
Anytime.
So let's talk a little bit. You mentioned a couple of horses. You've actually got 3 possibles for the Oaks, and then right now a very exciting horse, Silent Tactic, looking forward to the Derby in just about a month. just over a month. It's very exciting. It's always exciting to see your horses run, and I'm always rooting for them, as you know, because I'm your #1 fan. That was an exciting race for Silent Tactic. How about that horse?
Yeah, it was. He ran good. Renegade, I personally think Renegade is the horse to beat for the Kentucky Derby. I thought he was very impressive. He came home the last eighth of a mile and an 11-4 or something, which is just crazy going a mile and an eighth. So we just have to figure out, our horse ran well. We have 5 weeks. My hope is maybe that he likes Churchill Downs a little more. And as anybody that's ever followed the Derby knows, with 20 horses, anything's possible.
Absolutely.
So we'll need some luck, and we may need some others not to have so much luck.
But as a young horse in training with you, you really liked him.
I have. You
Yes.
know, he's a horse that just continues to get better and better, and he looks well. Some horses during the Derby campaign will actually lighten up. He's actually gotten bigger and stronger, so that's
Nice.
very encouraging.
Yeah, that is nice. And then let's talk about Counting Stars, and then you've got a couple of other possibles as well.
Now, Counting Stars, you know, she won the Fantasy, as we talked about earlier. She's a horse that we got her out of the 2-year-old sales, and the first time we breezed her here at our training center, I was like, wow. And she actually got hurt after that, and we had to give her some time. It wasn't really, no, we just gave her a little break. She's come back, and she's gotten better and better. Her performance the other day was really good. She's gonna be tough in the Oaks.
Yeah.
And
that'd
then we
be
have
awesome.
Search Party, who was broke here, a homebred of the farmers, broke here. The interesting thing about Search Party is her mother's Devious Charm. Devious Charm was the first horse I ever bought for Tracy Farmer. And I had her here. We bought her, and the first day we had her here, she jumped the round pen and spent a month at Peterson Smith.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Not
so
good.
No, it didn't. And this is her first fold. And Search Party is, you know, already won a grade 3, I believe it is. And she kind of got a little bit of trouble the other day in the Fantasy. I don't know that she would have beat Counting Stars, but it would have been closer. So we have her. And then we have a filly called French Friction, who again was broke here at our training center, showed a lot of promise early, got cast one day, as we talk about. You know, people worry, they say, oh, they get hurt on the track. They hurt themselves.
More often in a paddock or a stall or a round pen.
I've got one right now that is in a big race and has hurt himself in the stall. But she hurt herself.
Horses will find it. Have you noticed?
She hurt herself in the stall, which delayed her training. We took her time, took her to Oaklawn, and she was very impressive when she broke her maiden. And then she came back and won the stake really impressively. And I fly out in the morning to Lexington. She runs in the Ashland grade 1 on Friday, and I think she has to win. She could maybe get in being second. You know, we have to qualify for the Oaks and the Derby. And since she's a little late on the scene, she's probably going to have to win it. But she's a very good horse. She's only been sprinting, so there's some questions of can she go long, and we plan to find that out on Friday.
Very exciting. So very exciting prospects. And going back to something you mentioned, you know, one of the things the Horse Talk Show does every year, absolutely devoted to the research, digging to see all the connections that we can find here to our great horsemen in the Marion County area. And every year, 2/3 to 3/4 of the Derby and Oaks all trained here. And the same with the Breeders' Cup. Not to say there aren't other amazing races, obviously there are, but those are the ones we focus in on to see. And every year, without a doubt, 2/3 to 3/4 had their training here, came through OBS, some connection. And I think that's so exciting. So to absolutely be following yours and rooting them on as always.
Well, thank you. And that's precisely the point of why Ocala is so important for the horse, for the ecosystem of racing. As you just said, probably 75% of them have their start here in Ocala. or close around.
Yeah, absolutely. Very exciting time of the year. This is looking forward to the Derby and the Oaks as always. I have one last thing.
Okay.
That I would like to share with you on camera. First of all, I would like to share on camera with you a lovely goodie bag of stuff that we brought for you. And these are amazing, by the way. So your staff will love these, and lots of little bottles
My
of...
wife might like me to scratch her back.
Actually, I'm going to tell you something. My horse just likes a massage in this.
Okay.
And some other little goodies I've got for you in here. So there's a goodie bag.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. Looking for hay that's a cut above the rest? From field to feeder, Larson Hay delivers top quality, nutrient-packed hay your horses and livestock will love. And with the Larson family leading the way, you know every bale is made with integrity and care. Larson Hay weighs every bale so you can be confident that you're getting what you're paying for. No gimmicks and no small print, just the best hay you could ever feed your horses. Don't settle for just any bale, choose the cream of the crop since 1883. Visit larsonhay.com today, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Love presents itself in so many ways. It can be difficult to describe the bond between human and horse because it really transcends words. As we prepare for each ride, the most important thing in our mind is our horse's health and safety. Are we playing our part in this remarkable relationship? We want to go to sleep every night knowing that we did everything in our power to preserve this special bond. Piranha Animal Health, for the love of the horse.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network here at Ocala Breeder Sales. We are here for the April 2-year-old in training sales, and we are visiting a very nice, delightful tent here of Hidden Brook, and we're visiting with Mark Roberts.
Hello, how are you today?
Nice to be with you and chat a little.
Yep.
It's rather exciting as we're heading up to the Kentucky Derby and the Oaks in just a couple of weeks, and there's a rather exciting horse in the Derby this year. Tell us a little bit about the Puma.
Well, the Puma, he's looks like he's getting a little better with every race. Pretty excited about him. We bred him, Hidden Brook did, and with a partner, and sold him as a 2-year-old last year here at the same sale. It's a horse we always really liked. Thought he was a nice horse, you know. Wasn't maybe perfect up front, but he was acted like a real racehorse. Always did. Just did everything in the right way, and I expect him to run big on Saturday, first Saturday in May.
This is not your first run at having some amazing top horses in these top races, I know, because I follow them and I always see Hidden Brook showing up.
Yeah, well, we've had our fair share of good luck, and that's what it takes in this business to get to those kind of races is good luck, and we've been very fortunate.
That's true. How do you kind of hope that the Derby plays out for him? How does he like to run? Obviously, it's different than any race these young horses have ever been in because they're not used to being in a race with 20 horses. So that's a little different. And we've got a couple. We were talking to Niall Brennan earlier. There's a couple he's got that have only been in a couple of races, so not as seasoned as perhaps you might like them to be, and it's tough getting into a field that big and having a good run. It takes a lot of luck, we know.
It does.
And a lot of skill.
A lot of skill, but mostly luck. You got to get good position. That's the biggest part, is get good position coming out of the gate, where a horse can settle, and and it's always tough in the Derby because there's always so much traffic. So you just hope he gets a good position and can just sit off of it a little bit and make his one run, turning for home, which is kind of how he's been running. So we just hope he gets his good position.
Looking at some of the other horses right now, as we know things can still change a little bit between now and then, as we often see. Looking at some of the other horses in the race, who are the tough competition in your opinion for him?
Well, I think the Florida Derby, in my opinion, has shaped up to be probably the most important prep for the Derby this year. So I think those top 3 finishers are going to be very tough. The Arkansas Derby winner looked very, very impressive. So, you know, I think you got to count him in there. But, you know, as we've seen year after year, it's not always the favorite that comes out and wins it and runs big. So I think it's anybody's race. You know, if you walk over there, you got a shot. So
now, last year in the Derby, the field was one of the best I think I had seen in years. We had some incredible horses that we watched, you know, journalism, sovereignty, that were just amazing. Do you feel like that field this year is again another really good
No,
bunch
I think
of horses?
I think it's a top bunch of 3-year-old colts, and you know, and there's some that were sidelined early that hopefully will come back, and you know, later this year, and you'll see a really good bunch of 3-year-old colts. But I think it's a very top field.
Incredible. Tell us just a little bit about the Puma when he kind of started out, and how he was when he started under saddle. And you know, we look a lot at the foundation. We see so many of our local trainers here that put such an amazing start on these horses. We visit with them all the time. I think the foundation of the horse is very important when it starts out, before it even kind of gets into the conditioning part and gets ready to go away to the track.
Right. Well, I can't take too much credit for the Puma, because he did everything right from the first day, and you could just tell that this was going to be easy for him. And he took to the breaking process wonderful. You know, we take our time getting them before we take them to the racetrack. We do a lot of driving and stuff like that, but he just took to all of it naturally. And every day he went to the racetrack, he was all business, and he'd go back to the barn and lay down and sleep. That's what he was probably one of the sleepingest horses I've ever been around.
Then, of course, these two gentlemen here, I had Puma last year and Ewing up here last year. The Puma, I was saying he was a special kid. He was...
Yes. Mark was saying how cool he was, everything he did, all business, and then back to the stall, eat and have a nice nap, lie down.
Yes.
Very good horse that could rest well, which we always say helps.
Helps them grow, helps this mental thing, I believe, more than anything. Because they leave home somewhere that they're so comfortable at, and they come to a new place, and we ask them to do somewhat of the same things they're doing at home, but it's still crazy to them, you know. And to have one that was cool as he was about the whole thing, it was like, okay, I'm somewhere else. I'm going to take my nap. I'm through training, and I might play with my ball a little bit. But no, he was a really good guy, I enjoyed working with him.
How exciting that you handled him, and now he's in the Kentucky Derby. I mean, you have to be like, wow.
The whole process was very easy for him.
You know how many trainers tell me the ones that take really good naps seem to accomplish the most? Maybe that's a sign for us.
Yeah, we should maybe take more naps. Well, I think there's a lot to be said about that, because it shows they're relaxed, and they're getting rest, and as we all know, rest is important, and allows them to grow and develop. But I think it's a lot to do with their mental state, and so it's a good sign when you have a horse sleeps a lot.
Great. So you'll be at the Derby, I'm sure.
Well, not too sure. We're kind of deciding. You know, I enjoy watching it with friends and stuff on a television a lot better than I like fighting the crowd. So we'll see what we'd end up doing. We haven't decided yet.
Wonderful.
So.
Well, Mark Roberts, thanks for being with us so much. Hidden Brook's got such an invaluable, incredible name in the horse industry and the thoroughbred industry, and we love seeing your horses do so well, and we'll certainly be cheering you on at the Kentucky Derby.
All right, well, thank you.
Look out for the big fascinator, you know, we'll be there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so
right,
much. We
nice
really
to meet you.
appreciate
Okay.
you. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network, here with Hidden Brook at OBS. Very excited about the Puma. Watch out.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network here at Ocala Breeder Sales in Ocala, Marion County for the 2-year-old in training sale. Visiting some of the wonderful local Ocala connections to the 2 most exciting minutes in sports, which of course is the first Saturday in May. The Kentucky Derby will be there. But before we go, we've got to check in with some of these wonderful folks that give these horses the best possible start for a great future in horse racing. We're here with Scott from the 6Ks. I'm very excited to be here with you and chat to you about a rather exciting Kentucky Derby for you.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, everybody dreams about it, right?
Of course.
Finally get a chance.
One day for me.
Yeah.
I got to have a horse in it.
Exactly.
You know?
It's just awesome. It's awesome. It's when he won the Bluegrass. It just can't even explain it. It's just that was our first Grade 1 winner as a consigner, as a pre-trainer, and it's undescribable. So.
You know, you just said something that I'd love to just touch on before we go any further, and that is talk about being a consigner and what that actually means to maybe some of our viewers who aren't familiar with that term.
So we do this year-round, basically. As soon as the June sale's over, we got about 30 days. We go to July, and we start gathering up yearlings again. We do a lot of horses that are just going straight to the races, not going to a 2-year-old sale. And we do a lot of 2-year-old sale horses as well. Our program, we do everything the same, whether they're going to the sale or going to the races. It's just how it works. It's just how it works for us that way. So being a consigner just means we're going to take them from the yearling sale or from the breeder directly and go to the 2-year-old sale. We only sell 2-year-olds. I just think that's best to concentrate on one spot.
Right.
And that's basically what we do. We bring them to the 2-year-old sale. We are the agent that represents the owner when we sell the horse, and that's that in a nutshell.
And in that process, we kind of refer it quite often as the kindergarten phase, getting them ready to go off to the sale and then go on obviously to the track.
Exactly.
When you get them as a yearling, what is the kind of process to get them right?
So it depends on what sale they come out of, obviously. Let's just take September because that's where we get most of our horses, Keeneland, September. As soon as they get home, they get turned out. I don't separate colts from colts. We turn out colts together depending on the size of the paddock, whether it's 2 or 4 or 5. Fillies go in bigger groups, 6 or 8. Mainly the reason the colts are on smaller groups is because the paddocks for them are smaller, and that's the only reason. I think those horses need that time together. It makes it easier for us to break them because we do everything off of a pony. So if they're not turned out with other colts, they want to fight with the pony because that's what colts do. But if they've been fighting with each other all night and beating each other up all night, they can care. They're about sick of other horses. They don't care that my pony's in there, And we just start. We start with them as most people do. We get them broke to the pony first, and then we do some groundwork, and then we just start riding them. And we're very slow and methodical. We do a lot of jogging early. We jog in a big field up and down the hill. I just feel like when you go in and out of the field with riders, they're not just dependent on following the racetrack around. They have to the rider tells them where to go, and they have to take that cue. So I think it puts a better mouth on them.
Absolutely.
To ride them in a field.
And
to
we were
jog
just
them in the
talking
field
about
first.
the importance of different terrain.
Correct.
To help them get used to the feeling of, if they do take an off step, hopefully they handle it better if they've been
it
across
helps their
different...
athleticism as well.
Absolutely,
obviously.
yes.
And then once they go to the track, we put lots and lots of miles on them. I don't believe in breezing them fast until the end. The sale horses, they'll breeze fast a couple of times before we come over here. And when I say fast, I'm talking 23. A quarter and 23, and if it's much faster, I'm not real happy with my riders. Sale horses, or the race horses, they never go that fast. 26, we get them up to where they're breezing nearly a half mile for most clients, and then they'll leave and go to the races.
Nice.
We get a lot of horses ready to go to Dubai. We have one client, Jebel Ali Stable. When they come out of the sale, they come straight to us. We keep them, get them ready, and then we'll put them in quarantine and send them over usually around July.
That's cool.
So we've been doing that for about 6 years.
So let's talk about the Derby.
For sure.
Very
That's what everybody wants to
exciting.
talk
Right,
about,
right.
Yeah.
Having a grad of yours in the Derby is very exciting.
It's just, it's undescribable. It's a great thing. Can I say I thought he was going to be a Derby horse? Maybe not a Derby horse. Did I think he'd be a Grade 1 winner? Absolutely. The horse was good. I told everybody here last year that would listen how good the horse was. Only one person took it to heart and did what they needed to do to get him. But he was just awesome. He did everything right. He never had a bad day. He'd lay down and sleep for 2 hours every day. Half the time we'd have to get him up to tack him. He just laid back, but when it was time, it was time. But when you told him enough was enough, enough was enough. And I've spoken to Brad Cox about him a few times, and he said he's still the same. He just, when it's on, it's on. When it's off, it's off. Which, to me, that's going to give him a lot of longevity.
So further ado about when you were looking at him first, what were things about him that stood out to you? Mainly
his demeanor and his attitude. And then once we started getting a little more serious, he could gallop horses into the ground, not going fast or anything. He could just gallop horse. He'd start out, once we decide they're going to the sale and they've had a few breezes, then we start training them by themselves, just because when they get out here there's no company for them. They need to learn to be by themselves. There'd be a horse that would gallop off at 16 mile in front of him. By the time he galloped his mile and 1/8, he was past them. Not running off, he would just, and the first thing I noticed was his jog. He can out jog any horse in the barn, which to me, I think that translates to a stride, the length of stride, because jogging is just an extension of how far they can reach out there. And he could just jog like crazy. And that was the first thing I kind of took note of. But then when he would gallop, he could gallop anybody into the ground, as you saw in the bluegrass. He ran, but he just galloped. He just got in that big gallop, and he can do that all day long.
That is awesome.
The 1.25 miles should not be an issue, from what I know of him.
Wow. So it's pretty exciting. And the fact that he's with Brad Cox is awesome too, because he's going from a great trainer to a great trainer, because Brad Cox is amazing. I love being in his barn. He is the calmest guy. The barn is always quiet. They're very hands-on. They're very professional.
Exactly.
He's a great trainer.
He is. He's good as they get.
Yeah, he really is. So I love that he's with him. I think that's great for him, that he's going with somebody that doesn't over push and that sees everything and is very hands-on.
And that's how the horse is. He's just, if you want to push him, you can, and he'll take it, but he doesn't need it. He does what he's supposed to do.
Exciting. So are you going to be at the Derby?
Probably not.
It's so funny how many people say that. They're like, no, I want to watch it on the TV.
We've still got 60 at the farm, and my son's my assistant. He's my backbone. I can't do it without him, and he would be just fine. But I'd rather just be home with family and watch it.
Aw, that's so great.
It's going to be a great feeling.
It will.
Even no matter where he runs, just watching him in the post parade will be enough.
I know. I was going to say, don't you think when you have a grad of yours that makes it into the Kentucky Derby or the Breeders' Cup, you're like, I won already.
For sure.
But to have him be in the top horses like he is right now is just so exciting.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you saw those abilities in him early on is,
Daniel Toffee. Cool. Daniel Toffee, I give him lots of credit for, he's obviously the scout for Spendthrift, and he'd been watching him since December, and he just kept telling the Spendthrift team, this is the horse, I trust what Scott's telling us. And he said, I'm seeing it for myself. So I give him all the credit for picking the horse out.
That's
obviously
fantastic.
Spendthrift's got a huge team.
They do. Love Ned. Ned's great.
Exactly, and it's a great team that they have. There's not a better team in my opinion. But Daniel kind of knew what he was looking for, he stuck to his guns and just told everybody how good he was going to be.
That's very cool. He's good family. The Toffee family is amazing,
sure.
and that horse was so cool. It was Ted Noffey too. I wish I wish he'd come on and made it, but I'm sure we'll see more of him.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Very cool. Spendthrift are amazing. Incredible
They do
team,
great.
and
and they're so good for the industry.
They are.
They take care of all of us in that way, buying horses from us. they're just really good to the industry.
They are.
You know, they bring in good stallions. They'll give you good deals to keep everybody having an opportunity.
Moving forward, yeah.
For
It's
sure.
phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure.
Scott,
Absolutely.
thank you. So good
Thank
to
you.
see you. And
You too.
so
Thank you so
happy
much.
for you to have
Thank you.
a Derby horse,
Thank
a
you.
grad of yours. It's
For
super
sure.
exciting.
For sure.
So
It's
we
really
wish
cool.
you all the best.
Okay, thank you so much.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network here at OBS with potentially a winner of the Kentucky Derby that is a grad of Scott's. Very, very excited to watch that horse and what he's going to do.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. Looking for hay that's a cut above the rest? From field to feeder, Larson Hay delivers top quality, nutrient-packed hay your horses and livestock will love. And with the Larson family leading the way, you know every bale is made with integrity and care. Larson Hay weighs every bale so you can be confident that you're getting what you're paying for. No gimmicks and no small print, just the best hay you could ever feed your horses. Don't settle for just any bale, choose the cream of the crop since 1883. Visit larsonhay.com today, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Love presents itself in so many ways. It can be difficult to describe the bond between human and horse because it really transcends words. As we prepare for each ride, the most important thing in our mind is our horse's health and safety. Are we playing our part in this remarkable relationship? We want to go to sleep every night knowing that we did everything in our power to preserve this special bond. Piranha Animal Health, for the love of the horse.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network here at Ocala Breeder Sales in Marion County, the horse capital for the 2-year-old in training sale. We are very excited about the upcoming Kentucky Derby. We are here with First Call and we are here with Rodolfo Garcia because we are so happy that they have a grad of theirs in the Run for the Roses of the first Saturday of May. Rodolfo, it's so lovely to meet you.
Thank you, same here.
Thank you for being so welcoming to us into your tent here for First Call at OBS. We are so excited for you.
Oh, we are very excited as well. So happy.
So happy
to be part of that, being on the road to the Kentucky Derby. Especially we've been doing this for 2 years. This is my second year as a consignment. And on my second year to have a horse that it's on his way to the Kentucky Derby is very, very exciting.
That's incredible. What do you attribute success in such a short time to?
Well, in this game, I believe that, we do our due diligence in trying to pick the right horses when we go to the sale. And, we have a budget to buy horses, which makes it much more difficult when you encounter people in there that are buying horses for the hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s. So we go there and, we try to pick our horses. And we came across this, magnificent looking colt by Ron Happy. We were able to buy him for $20,000. And, he's doing great. He, nice colt, broke well, did everything great, came over here, worked like a champion, and the race is history. He's where he's at right now.
That's amazing. So when he came to you as a yearling, what are some of the things that you noticed first about him? A lot of trainers talk about demeanor, personality, being very intelligent, all business. What was he like?
He was one of those horses that when we started breaking him, he had a very good head to himself. Very quiet. He did everything the way, we taught him to do. Everything was good about him. Good demeanor, good temperament. I slept a lot. I like horses that go to the stall and just lay it down and just stay for hours doing that. And that was the horse that he was. And then he went on to start breaking him. He started doing his right thing. When I started asking him, this is the process. When we started asking him to go a little faster, he did it with some ease. And, like I said, we're lucky because it's not easy to bring. There's many horses that come here, probably with the same kind of attributes that he had, and they don't make it. But we're lucky that he was able to.
That's amazing. And visiting with your team over here, everybody is so enthusiastic. The energy is so good.
Yes.
And looking towards the Derby and Mike Smith, and just how exciting it is to just even to be in the top 20 horses is exciting, and the possibility of winning is
incredible. We're like the Cinderella. You know, when you start running in California against horses that Bob Baffert, purchased for $3 million and $2 million and $1.5 million, and you're there and you're competing against them and you're beating them, and it's like, oh my God, this is the real thing. So it's a Cinderella story, and we're very happy to be part of it.
I think the word happy will be a common thread through this whole story, right?
Yeah, happy. That's why my little thing first call is so happy.
Yeah.
And that has been my thing when people come to me to ask to see a horse. Oh, we're so happy to see you.
And just a few years doing this.
My second year.
Your second year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
What a great story.
Yes.
This is one I will carry all the way to Kentucky with me. Will you be there?
I am going to be there.
You are going to be there to see this exciting race.
Of course, to root for him, of course. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. How wonderful is
Thank
that?
you, yeah.
And one of the things that we really talk a lot about is how important how the horses started is, because it gives them so much more of a chance of a good future.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I have to say that I take a lot of pride in saying that I try to have these babies, and in such a short period of time, try to make them into race horses without having to ask that much from them, which is not difficult. I want the buyer to have a horse that they can build on. Sometimes it's very hard because they ask you to bring a horse over here to run as fast as he can for as long as he can, and that is a difficult thing to do without having a little baby injure himself.
Right.
Yes.
So it takes great care to get to this point, to get the horse conditioned right, but also safely.
You have to ask, but then you have to also be a little careful, because you're asking sometimes a 19-month-old baby, 20-month-old baby to be going an 11 and change at the farm 3 months earlier, and that's too much for them.
Yeah. So it is important that you have a lot of knowledge.
Gradually, yes.
And that you can read the horse. So you know how it's feeling, how ready and prepared it is, and you know when to back off.
That is, they tell you. They have their own language, and sometimes they just don't want to listen. But they tell you.
You have to be able to speak horse, right?
Oh, you have to speak horse.
That's right, yes. Well, we are so happy for you.
Thank you very much.
Excited, and we'll be absolutely rooting for you.
Thank you very much.
This is such a great story. Well done. Hats off to all of you, your team.
Thank you very much.
And thank you again for welcoming us so much today.
Thank you
much. Such an honor. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network. So happy for First Call, and so excited for them about the Kentucky Derby.
Thank you. All right.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network here at Ocala Breeder Sales, visiting at First Call Consignment, who played a huge role in the success of a horse that we are so happy about. So happy. And I'm here with Hans Marion, owner of So Happy. How do you feel?
Living lucky.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Spot on. Tell us a little bit about the journey to being on your way to the Kentucky Derby, which is the two most exciting minutes in sports, historic race. It's an incredible, it's amazing even to make it there, right?
Yeah, no, anybody that buys horses, that's what everybody talks about, and it's everybody's dream. And, even when you think you don't have a chance, that's why we do the game, is to have an opportunity. And maybe wasn't our plan, but it's somebody else's plan.
I love that. That's so great. Now, you go to the Kentucky Derby every year, but you never imagined you'd actually be an owner at the Kentucky Derby, right?
We did have a horse in 2021 in a partnership, but this is our first opportunity being the main owner. So obviously it feels you know, a little bit bigger, a little bit more pressure, but we're enjoying every minute of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How exciting, thrilling it really is. I think it's the Kentucky Derby is just about the most thrilling sports event to me in the whole world. So to have a horse in it has to be super special. Tell us about First Call and kind of how they've worked with you and helped you to get to this point.
So we weren't at the sale. I was actually at a retirement party for myself. And Mark bought the horse, and he just called me up and he said, hey, might not be the exact breeding that we planned to get, but I got this horse that physically fits our horse style that we like. And he told me what he bought it for, and he goes, if you're interested, it's your horse. So I said, okay, I'm in. And then, later on, he called me back and said he had a partner that would be interested in sharing. So we gave up 25% to Norman Stables. And, it's kind of the rest has been a journey, right? We gave them some time off until November. I mean, we started working like September, getting to the races. But by November, we were ready for the races. And he just, ran crazy, better than we thought. He was 38-1 that day. And then obviously he won a stakes race in January, maybe a little bump in the road in March. And then the Santa Anita Derby, a grade 1 race in April, was crazy good. So here we are. Yeah.
So when you're on the road to the Derby like that and you're watching them in the prep races, it has to be just, I mean, I would be on the edge of my seat with just the whole, and as we were just talking to your wife, and she was saying, we kind of never really expected it to be this point with us because we tend to go much slower and you have to go quite quickly to get to this point. And, we never want to sacrifice, obviously, the wellness and health of the horse. So really it takes an exceptional horse to get in the top 20, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of take you there. But when we won in November, there really wasn't any real options for us to run in, like a 1X allowance. And the stakes race came up, and he had been training so good, we just said, let's, take a shot. And then, he wins the grade 2, and, the rest kind of came together.
And then Mike Smith. I
yeah.
mean, wow.
Oh, yeah. No, and he's been high on the horse, so he's been telling us all along. And, Mark's been high on the horse. So, it was pretty easy to get down the road after that. But you never know, right? They got to take you there, so.
And it's such an experience to be there and to do the walkover and the post parade and all the parts of it. It's incredible. It really is. It's historic. It's an experience, and we'd love to see you guys in the winner's circle.
Why not, right? Live lucky.
That's right.
All
Live
right.
lucky. It's
Thank
such
you.
an honor to meet you guys. Thank you. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network. We're happy. So happy.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network, covering the local connections in Ocala Marion County to the two most exciting minutes in sports, the Derby and the Kentucky Oaks, which is also a very exciting race. Here with Tristan Demerick, the Demerick family, year after year after year, whether we're at the Kentucky Derby, the Oaks, the Breeders' Cup, all the top stakes races have grads and horses that they've been involved in some way, bred, and it's always exciting to stop and visit them. So I'm here with Tristan Demerick, and just want to hear the rundown of your connections this year.
We have two very exciting fillies in the Oaks. We have My Miss Mo, who is actually a homebred of ours out of In a Dream. She's one, I still own a little whisker of a little piece of her, so we're going to be heading up there for that, and we're very excited for many reasons for our partners, and Safi Joseph has done a great job getting her ready. We also had Zany, who's going in for Rapoli for Todd Pletcher. She's one that was a graduate of our program. And also we'll be pulling for Meaning, who actually we just sold her half-sister today here at OBS. We had a half-sister by Curlin here for Stonehaven. And again, it was great filly, great timing with her update, but we have 3 to pull for in the Oaks this year. So we'll be excited.
That's awesome, right?
Excited to be there.
Be there.
We will be there. We will be
wonderful.
there. Yeah, it'll be fun. Nice to have a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on the cusp possibly for the Derby?
Soldier and Diplomat's been kind of earning his points and chipping away, and he's a very nice horse that we sold here in March last year, and that's St. Elias and Pletcher, and again there's a chance he'll be up there too for the Derby. So fingers crossed.
So year after year after year, I see the Demeric's name with connections to all these top horses. You guys do such an amazing job putting a foundation on them. I've been out there in the farm watching Jackie in the round pen and your dad working with them, and it's wonderful to see how when it's done right, the results speak for themselves.
Right, absolutely. We're lucky, a program that my parents have started 40 years ago, and we've been lucky to be a part of. Had a lot of nice horses through the farm. We have great clients who we're fortunate to have, that they send us nice horses, and again, we're just lucky to be in the right spot at the right time. Really, I mean, it's nice when it all works out, because it makes up for the ones that don't. It makes you feel really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're working away for a real purpose.
Absolutely, no, it's nice. You love to see your owners, your partners, and people. You can really see why people catch the bug in this business when a horse is kind of getting ready for Derby or Oaks, and it's a very exciting time for all these horses this time of year in the spring. So.
Great. Well, we wish you all the best. Thank you so much. We love your family.
Thank you.
You guys do such a phenomenal job showing up all the time. So thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. Anytime. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Louise.
Kristen Demerick here at OBS. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. Looking for hay that's a cut above the rest? From field to feeder, Larson Hay delivers top quality, nutrient-packed hay your horses and livestock will love. And with the Larson family leading the way, you know every bale is made with integrity and care. Larson Hay weighs every bale so you can be confident that you're getting what you're paying for. No gimmicks and no small print, just the best hay you could ever feed your horses. Don't settle for just any bale, choose the cream of the crop since 1883. Visit larsonhay.com today, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Love presents itself in so many ways. It can be difficult to describe the bond between human and horse because it really transcends words. As we prepare for each ride, the most important thing in our mind is our horse's health and safety. Are we playing our part in this remarkable relationship? We want to go to sleep every night knowing that we did everything in our power to preserve this special bond. Piranha Animal Health, for the love of the horse.